Here comes his theme song.
Got it.
Hill Kings Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. Nephews around the world. We finally did it.
Yeah, brother.
The moment you've all been waiting for on the podcast since we started. Reilly Anspaugh is here.
Since episode 1, people were like,
Where's
this is
Reilly?
Nice, but
Where's the
where's this
Reilly?
Yeah.
really specific niche comedian who we
Yes.
probably don't know?
Yeah.
You should
they've
see the
been
comment
clamoring.
section.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
all
It's all of
seven
that
of our
verbatim.
listeners. Yeah, they've been crying. They've been crying. Where's Reilly?
Oh my god, is that Chris's baby?
That was
Mhm.
good, Hank. Yeah.
Yeah, GH.
What's his name?
Yeah,
His
our
name
comment
is
my
section,
Hank.
God.
Yeah.
our
His
comment
name is
section
Hank.
Yeah.
It's Henry, but yeah, we call
Yeah,
him
it's Hank,
Hanky.
yeah.
Hanky Panky. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh my god, I'm stoked to be here. I'm so excited.
Yes.
And also I can't stop looking at what almost looks like demonic Kermit on your wall back there, Brad.
Oh, on
Which,
the
which spot on his wall, honestly?
yeah. There's a lot going on.
The
back
like
there.
the alien, the green, big teeth, eyes.
Oh
the-
yeah, it's a
the-
teddy bear. It's a cute little teddy bear.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
But
That's
then we've got
kinda-
Robin the Frog right under there. So
I see. Got it. Sorry, I
That's
just
kind of sick and twisted individual like that.
yeah,
Some of us
He's-
I'm a
prefer
bit
to live in
edgy,
a
Reilly.
hotel room.
yeah, like Chris. Welcome to the show, Reilly.
Thank you
well,
for
say
having
hello,
me.
nephews. Say hello, everybody. Say hi to Reilly. She's here. Everyone,
Hi.
everyone. We don't even need to introduce you. They all know you. Do you
Yeah.
want to introduce yourself?
Oh God. I mean, what's there to say?
You got a
I'm
haircut. You could say
Reilly. You know what? I didn't get it cut. I got it colored.
that. Oh, just colored. My bad. My
It
bad.
was colored.
Jesus,
It's
Brad,
fine.
edit that.
It's
Edit
fine.
that.
we'll cut that out.
Cut,
Don't worry.
Cut
We'll
that.
cut it
cut
out.
that
We'll
out.
cut it
Unlike
right.
my hair. I am happy to be here. I guess what you need to know about me is that the amount of minutes that I have watched the TV show King of the Hill is however long this episode was.
23.
23. So that's the this is my first experience with it, and I'm ready to dive in and chat. And you don't really need to know anything else about me, I guess.
You're all about King of the Hill now. Now
Yeah,
that you've
that's-
seen, that's the only thing we
We'll
got.
get into it.
The only thing you need to know about me is that I've watched
I
an episode
fucking
of this
love
show.
this show. I bleed this show. Actually,
I
no,
bleed this show.
that's typical for I think every guest.
Mm,
Well, no,
Yeah,
we did
two,
have another
two.
King of the Hill podcast on the
Nelson, my brother in Bois. They
Yeah.
knew what was up.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jeff
I thought
had
you were
never
gonna say
seen an
that's
episode.
typical for women.
Well, Anya
No.
had never seen. Anya was on a couple episodes ago. She had never seen an episode
Awesome.
except on a Tinder date. Go back and watch
Oh.
that episode if you would like.
I can't
To
wait
learn
to hear
more.
about that. I
And
hope it was
also,
the first date.
Also,
was.
Jeff, who had not seen before. So yes, just
That
our
checks
women
out.
guests.
Yeah, we don't speak his name here though.
And you shouldn't. And you shouldn't give
Yes,
him
and
any
we
kind of
won't.
platform. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
He's
are
had enough.
here. We are here for season 2, episode 22, Peggy's Turtle Song. Aired on
What was your first impression of the show and this episode? / what is your comfort level?
Did you have
So-
fun?
With the
Did
show.
you enjoy yourself?
I had fun. Here's the thing. Can I be honest? Can we be
Yes.
can we be real? Like for once, can we actually
Let's
just
be
like
real.
not lie to each other? Like I'm sick
Mhm.
of all of us, the three of us lying.
Yeah, I know.
I growing up was like such a Simpsons girly. And yeah, I'll say
You're
it.
welcome here.
I
You're
was a-
welcome here.
I was a
Reilly.
Family Guy girl.
Don't worry, we'll talk. We'll talk about it.
And so I think I had seen like commercials for King of the Hill. Obviously,
Mm.
I'd seen like merch, everything, and it gave me Republican vibes in a way that like not knowing literally anything about it. I'm like, I love The Simpsons and all the hijinks they get up to. What's Mo doing? I don't know about this Republican show that I'm a little scared of. I think energy-wise,
Yeah.
I was scared of it. And
Yeah.
not gonna lie, like I had fun. I thought the writing was really funny. The animation style actually makes me
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
you're not the
Mhm.
first to say
It's
that.
It's like
understandable.
really unsettling.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to put my finger on it, but I'm just like, I don't know. And so I was talking to my boyfriend about it because he also was like a Simpsons guy growing up. I feel the two genders, Simpsons and
Yeah.
Hill. And he's
And
like,
there
I do
are
that.
only two.
And there are only two.
Yes.
And it's either Simpsons
Yes.
or King of the Hill. And he's like, but that's the point, is that it's a send up of kind of like Republican vibes.
Yeah, it's
Um,
Mike Judge, it's Greg Daniels. It's
And so actually then watching it, I was like, this is
Yeah.
funny.
The
And so I had a really
satire's
good
good.
time. Yeah, the satire is good. So that's kind of like my only experience, is thinking this is a scarily animated conservative show.
Gotcha.
And then
You're not
watching
far
it,
off.
and
Yeah.
it's a scarily animated satire that I really
Yes.
like. Yeah.
We are
Excellent.
early in the animation too. This is season 2, so it gets cleaner and smoother.
Yeah, season
It's-
1 was hard to watch.
Yes, season 1 was
Really?
rough.
Oh
yeah.
my god! Is it almost like early seasons of The Simpsons were a little
Yeah,
scary
yeah.
too?
Still
Mhm.
hand drawn. You
Yeah.
know, we didn't get that takeover of the digital animation yet.
And you feel it, and
we
it's
hate
gritty.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So that's those are my thoughts. But I had fun watching this episode. There were some there's some LOL moments. I laughed a
All
lot.
right, and we'll
There's
get
some
into all.
interesting modern parallels too. I liked this one a lot
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, but first, you know what we got to do.
We
all
do.
know.
We got to hit him with This Week in Arland. Everyone knows this is the segment of the show where we look at what was going on in the world at the time of this episode's airing. This episode aired on May 10th, 1998. What do you think baby Anspaugh was up to?
Okay.
Were you
1998.
alive?
I
yet?
was 2.
Okay.
I was about to turn 3. And so I was probably, honestly, it's like with all of the hubbub, I was too busy locked the fuck into Sesame Street at this point.
Yeah.
And so I kind of
Yes.
had those blinders on.
Mhm.
And so it's like that was really the zeitgeist for me. It's like, let me watch Beauty and the Beast for the 5th time today.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me see Elmo again. And so
Yes.
that was like, the rest of the stuff was just noise.
Yeah,
at
you
that
couldn't be
point for
bothered to
me.
watch King of the Hill. Yeah.
Couldn't be bothered because I was learning how to read.
Yeah. And how's that going, by the way?
You know, I think we're like 80% there.
Mm,
Still
mm,
working.
Mm-hmm.
nice.
I mean, I'm a student for life. As are we
Sesame
all.
Street, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still on in your
Always
household.
learning, just watching Sesame Street.
Kicking it off as we always do with a peek at the TV guide for the night. We have a couple of standouts here. The Lion King was airing on ABC.
Hey,
Yeah.
Right during King of the Hill. The Lion King was up against King of the Hill tonight,
amazing.
which I probably would have been peeping the Lion King
Yeah,
would've.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd have had that on for sure.
with
Yeah.
commercial breaks. Are you kidding me?
Are you
Get out of
kidding?
here.
The Lion King is so good.
Are you kidding?
Hot take. Lion King is so good.
It's
You're
controversial.
crazy. You're crazy for that.
Have you guys heard of their like rebooting the Lion King again, live action, but it's going to be a prequel this time,
Yes.
What?
and it's going to be about Mufasa.
The trailer looks bad.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it does.
And
Cool,
also
yeah.
the canon of like the accents don't make sense. Mufasa's
Yeah.
British. I don't know.
Well, and
I
also
don't
That
know.
one-
Timon and Pumbaa.
That
are
one
in it.
does. Yeah.
How are
That one
Timon
does
and
what?
Pumbaa in it?
Timon and Pumbaa are in it?
Yeah. Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner were like on the cast list, but they didn't
But-
know Mufasa, did
They
they?
didn't know Mufasa, no.
Retconning. It won't stand.
It won't
Hmm.
stand. I'll make some calls after this.
mean-
I'll
Oh,
figure it
thanks.
out.
Yeah. appreciate
Mufasa
that.
was the king though, so ostensibly probably Timon and Pumbaa knew
Pumbaa.
Mufasa.
Pumbaa.
Boo!
Boo!
Oh my god, new Lion King lore. Pumbaa is canon.
Yeah, that's female Pumbaa. She's the hot one.
And there are only two warthogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he was a young warthog.
It's the same character design. She just has eyelashes because
Yes.
she's a girl.
Yes, and lipstick.
Yeah.
Lipstick on a pig.
Anything else standing out here on the TV guide to y'all?
All Right Already is back, brother.
Yes,
Bottom
that show
right.
has deep lore on this show. The WB had a sitcom called All Right Already that aired for one season, I believe.
I don't know. I
And-
think one.
Yeah, we've been clamoring to find out more about the show and haven't
All
been
right,
able
all
to
right.
find
I've
any
never heard of
episodes.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one has. The
That's right.
internet has nothing about it also. So
I
It's just for
love
us.
what's sticking out to me is also is like Sunday night movie. Is that it's like TV movies. Where
Mhm.
Yeah.
movies? TV movies. Where are they now? I guess it's like that has just kind of made its way to like bad Netflix originals. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
I really miss the era of like I'm doing a T
appointment
movie.
television.
It's like that's
Yeah.
not no one's doing TV
Yeah.
movies anymore. It's incredible.
What did we
Well-
watch in Washington, Pat? We spent a whole
Oh,
weekend
yeah.
watching the Lifetime Network, I think.
Yeah,
we
we
were
Oh
watched-
watching or
yeah,
something like
of
that.
course.
So we
We watched
just
a
like
lot of Lifetime. Yeah.
That's
straight
true.
binged real trash.
That
and it
feels
was-
like its own world, though. Like I'm seeing like
Yeah.
CBS Sunday movie,
Yeah,
like
Broken
Lifetime and
Arrow.
Hallmark thing. Like that feels like its own universe of TV movie. But yeah, that's sticking
Yeah.
out to me.
Well,
Riley,
and
did you watch Sister Sister down there on the bottom row?
I loved Sister Sister.
Yeah, me
Sister
too.
Sisters on
And Jamie
tonight, yeah.
Foxx show was good too.
Mm,
I liked
never
that
watched it.
show.
never
I
watched
watched
that.
it. I watched it. I didn't watch Unhappily Ever After though. That had Bobcat Goldthwait in it, and he made me uncomfortable.
I didn't watch it either.
That name is amazing.
Yeah, he's a legend. I
know.
guess.
It's like
Bobcat.
every time I hear it, it's just like God.
Yeah,
damn,
been
that's
thinking about changing my name to Bobcat. So we can talk about that later.
My probably my favorite Fall Out Boy album is on the screen here. X-Files, Folie à Deux.
I can't wait for the second Joker.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga.
Lady
Lady
Gaga and X Files Folie à Deux.
I
Folie à
do.
Deux.
I did do a little bit of a deep dive into this TV movie Broken Arrow starring John Travolta. And I have a slide on it,
Great.
which you will see up here. It basically it reads to me as Top Gun, but with the other Scientologist guy. It's kind of a Top Gun's like knockoff, it seems.
Okay.
It's about Air Force people. Vic Deakins is such a strong
Bad
90s
name.
action movie name, and Riley Hale. Riley, hey,
Riley Hale.
there you go.
Christian
Played by
Slater.
Christian Slater. What's he up to lately?
Vic Deakins is 100% like 90. Like,
Oh
what
my
are we gonna
God.
call for this? Well, there's only
Whoa.
one guy we know. Deakins. He can do it.
It's got to be Vic.
Gotta be Vic.
Get Hale in here.
Yeah.
Did you
I
guys
won't do
read
it unless
this
Hale can
blurb?
come with me.
This
Yeah,
is a
oh yeah.
crazy
I
blurb.
put it
They've
in
got,
here,
like,
man.
Wait,
they've got
apparently-
nukes, and like one of them tries to kill the other. Like they're in the air with
Yeah,
the nukes,
survives
and
a
it goes
crash,
rogue.
meets up with a park ranger named Terry Charmander. And they attempt to thwart Deakins' plan. So I guess Vic Deakins is the villain.
Yeah, he's the villain.
Anti-hero.
Yeah, the V
Wow.
stands for villain.
Stealing the nukes.
But I will definitely be watching this, and I will report back next week.
Mhm.
Please.
Simpsons check, Riley. This is a through line in this segment of me just trying to turn the show into a Simpsons podcast because I too am a Simpsons girly.
Yeah.
We started doing this podcast because Chris wanted to do it about King of the Hill,
Mhm.
and I want to talk about The Simpsons as much as I can.
For
but
sure.
Unfortunately, we're in the era where The Simpsons starts to suck.
Mm,
This is season 9, so
Mm.
it's starting to really go downhill.
mm.
Groening had
Down
left.
the
He was
King of the
working
Hill.
on Futurama.
Nice.
That's really good, actually.
Hmm.
So this was the episode, I don't know if you remember, Lost Our Lisa. It's the one where Lisa wants to go to the museum because they're having an Egypt exhibit
I don't
situation.
know if I remember this one.
And Bart glues a bunch of like novelty shit to his face. So Marge
That's so
can't
Bart.
take Lisa's so Bart. So like Marge has to take Lisa to the doctor. She ends up like going on her own and gets lost on the bus. And then Homer goes and tries to find her. And then they end up like breaking into the museum at the end and like
And
stumbling
all of
upon
things
the
come to life, and
Yeah.
Ben Stiller shows up.
Yes.
There's something I don't know why something that
Oh,
feels
no.
very late '90s about theming of like the kids being lost on their own. I don't know
Mhm.
why
Yeah.
that felt like really in the zeitgeist of like
and
a
also
lot of-
Egypt.
Yes.
Yeah,
The Mummy had come out recently. I actually
like, and
just
so
watched
what if
that
we-
last week.
kids
Holds up.
being lost and alone. The
then-
mummy.
Ooh.
Heroes. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a recipe for success. Resulted in kind of a mid episode, though, I'd say. Yeah, as most of them were at this time. Moving right along, though, we had a drop from our boy Leonard Kravitz.
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
He did drop Fly Away. the album that contained this song, at least this week. So if you were listening to the radio, that's probably all you were fucking hearing, because I remember hearing nothing but this song at the time.
You still hear
So,
this song.
yeah,
You hear this
yeah,
song regularly.
it's lasted through the years.
It's got that Kravitz staying power.
And he's looking good.
He is
You
looking
guys
good.
seen
He's
him
always
recently?
looking. Oh, he's always looking
Lately?
good.
No, I haven't.
He's
We haven't
shredded,
caught up in a
brother.
while, but like I hear he's doing really well.
Yeah, Leonard.
Yeah, Lenny.
You and Len.
Yeah.
Nice. In movie news, Deep Impact came out.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
believe it was the #1 movie in the country. Titanic still in the top 3
Okay.
for about 17 weeks at this point.
Jeez.
We're about 3 weeks out from Titanic being dethroned, and we've got Deep Impact. Have you guys seen this movie?
I haven't. I've
It's-
definitely heard of it. It's like such a I have no idea what it's about, but I know of the movie called
Yeah.
Deep Impact.
I've watched it ran back on TV a couple times, like hungover in college and stuff, but I don't think I've
Yeah,
like
it's a good
sat down with the
hungover.
intention to watch
Yeah.
it all the way through.
It's about a comet coming to Earth, and it's kind of that like typical apocalyptic, like a scientist has to figure out how to stop the comet situation. Morgan Freeman's in it, so that's fun.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that
Yeah.
changes things.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. Yeah, you see him. You see him right there.
There he is.
Gran Turismo came out.
Oh,
Car
wow.
racing for the
Sick.
PlayStation.
Wow.
That came out this
yeah.
week. Yeah.
That's nuts. That's huge for the culture, actually.
For the
Yes.
culture.
For the gaming culture.
The gamers, as we all are
Wow,
here.
Gran Turismo came out that week. Amazing.
Yeah, they just made a movie, right, of Gran Turismo?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
feature-length film. So it's
Mhm.
persisted in the zeitgeist as well.
It's a little baby.
Taking a peek though at the charts, we got a banger check. You're Still the One
Wow.
by Shania Twain,
Mhm.
enjoying its 13th consecutive week on the Billboard charts.
Wow.
Truly, Madly, Deeply. We got
We've been talking
Everybody
about them,
by the
yeah.
Backstreet Boys. Too
I thought
Close by
Backstreet's
Next, I'm
good.
not very familiar with,
I
but
don't know that.
I'd have to
Yeah.
play it to get some context on it. It's not
and
coming right
famously
to
we
my head.
can't do that, Chris,
Yeah.
because
not
we
since
will miss an episode.
Yeah.
Shout out Fergie. We did play a Fergie song, and that episode was kind of, we had to trash it.
Yeah.
But
It's
that was a
full of
little peek
copyright holes.
in music. Back to TV news this week. We had a pretty big deal. I don't know if you're a Friends girly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But earlier
Oh,
this
nice.
week we
Brad's
did
gonna love
have
this because I'm not a Friends girly.
the one with Ross's wedding. The
Yep.
one where he says
Huge
the wrong
episode.
name.
Yep.
Yeah.
I take
I
you,
know-
Rachel. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
know that he does that.
Yeah, Chris is married to a Rachel, and he did say
Mhm.
the right name at the wedding. I was there.
You quote. Oh my God, you quoted Ross at your
He
wedding.
quoted Ross.
That's
at his
crazy.
wedding. He
did.
loves Friends.
I
You're
was making that
obsessed.
face.
You're
I was
such
making
a
that face, too.
Chandler, dude.
You're making the Ross face.
And Rachel was
Rachel.
making that face.
Yeah.
She's making that face right now. Yes.
She's standing right off screen. It was also Bono's 38th birthday on this day.
Whoa.
How old is Bono now?
Well, he would have been 38 in 1998.
So
So
We're in 2042 right now.
yeah.
when this comes out, yeah.
So like 60s.
He's probably in his 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah. Good for him.
Wow.
Still kicking.
Change. That's crazy.
You remember when he put that song on everybody's iPhones? I know everybody talks
Song,
about
whole
that all the
album.
time.
It was a whole album.
Whole
Yeah.
album, whole ass album.
Yeah.
That was really wild that happened.
And everyone was so mad. Everyone was so pissed.
Don't listen to
you.
it.
Fuck you,
I
Bono.
know.
And it
Uh,
was like hard to get it off too. I remember it like went onto my iPod Touch or whatever, and I was like, how the
Mhm.
fuck do I remove this?
Glitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bono I can't think about him and not think about the episode of South Park with him
Yeah.
being the giant piece of shit. It's so
Oh
funny.
my
It's a
God.
classic, yeah.
I can't think about Bono without thinking about you guys seen Across the Universe with Jim
Hmm.
Sturgis, Evan Rachel Wood. Bono plays like, you know, the kind of
Space Bono.
equivalent of I'm forgetting his name, but like Electric Kool-Aid Acid Trip, like that kind of dude. And like
Yeah.
you're either on the bus or he's doing a really bad American accent, and he sings "I
Nice.
Am the Walrus," and he's got a
Oh
huge
yeah. Oh my
handlebar
god.
mustache on.
Yeah, I'll
and
put a
he-
screenshot.
It's
up on the screen.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
Wow.
amazing.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Great.
Go
I
watch
know.
it.
Baby.
Rounding it out, though, as I like to do with a little bit of death. Frank Sinatra had 3 days to live.
3 days to live.
So one of the last things...
That's a threat. That sounds like a threat.
If you're reading this, Frank. No, maybe one of the last things he did was watch King of the Hill. Who knows?
It's crazy.
The photo on the
That could have
left is
happened.
really haunted.
Yeah, I Googled Frank Sinatra 1998.
That is wild.
So
I
I think
haven't
that
seen
was
this
him.
photo of him.
Yeah.
That's such like there's a dark energy there. And you can see in his face it's like he's seeing things we don't at that point.
You
Yeah.
can see 3 days in his eyes. That's
Yeah,
what you can see.
the
And
veil
I'll
is
die
very
in
thin.
3 days.
Start spreading the news. I'm dead in 3 days.
Wow.
Oh, you love to hear it.
Oh
Rip.
my god.
And
Great
you love...
presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Should we get into the episode?
We should.
Should
I'd
we
never
walk
asked.
through this episode of the show?
We shall.
I think we should. Let's
Should we
I
just
cut
mean,
some
we're
grass?
here.
yes, I will be mowing the lawn today, as we like to call conducting
You got it. Can you
the
handle it?
walkthrough. I will be
Got
I
it.
will be driving the mower for today's episode. So Chris mentioned this is episode 22 of season 2, Peggy's Turtle Song. The blurb for this episode: when Peggy blames herself for not being there for Bobby, she quits her job to be a stay-at-home mother and takes up guitar lessons. This one is written by Brent Forrester and directed by Jeff Myers. Kicking it off in this here episode, we open on Bobby enjoying a bowl of Grandma's oatmeal crunch at the kitchen table.
Mhm.
I love this cereal. I wish it was real.
It really gave me, as also a SpongeBob girly, it really gave me
Yeah.
grandma's cookies.
Yes.
It was
That's-
very that.
That's the first thing I thought of whenever I saw this on screen. I was
Yeah.
like, Grandma's cookies.
Grandma's
Yeah.
cookies.
Grandma, you put the cookies back in breakfast.
Yes,
that
I love
really,
that.
that immediately got a laugh out of me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Peggy comes in. She's in a rush, tells Bobby that he should just have cereal and that he should have 2 bowls because it's the most important meal of the day.
Yes.
Bobby, like a true G. This is some shit I would have done because I was a little fat kid growing up.
He's like,
much like Bobby.
okay.
Yeah. So he has 2 more bowls
Say less.
and he's getting hopped right up. And then we
Mhm.
get Hank coming in also in a rush, tells Bob he should just have cereal. And
Says oatmeal. That sounds gross. You should put some sugar on it.
and Bobby does not miss a beat. And
I love Bobby.
yeah, this whole episode basically just happened because Peggy was in a rush.
He's too hopped
Yeah.
up on sugar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Peggy is like, she's in a rush. She can't think of songs for the field trip. And she's
Yeah.
like, what did that John Jacob Jingleheimer do?
He's always like around.
Bobby's like, he goes in, he comes out. That's about
Yeah.
it.
That's
Yeah.
about it.
I loved that little part.
Yeah, excellent. We cut over to the school, and the teacher is talking about famous mothers for Mother's Day because Mother's Day is coming up. I
This is one of my
loved
best parts.
Bobby just like completely hopped. They're like, Bobby,
Puppy. Yeah. Bob's
can you
bouncing
tell me
off the
about
walls.
which mothers? And he cuts her off and says, own slaves.
That cracked me up. I think that was the
No.
number one joke of the episode for me. It was just so splashed.
Yeah. And this happens quite a bit, weirdly, in the 2 seasons of King of the Hill. There are a lot of parallels with subject matter to episodes of The Simpsons that also came out like during the same week or like a couple weeks later. A few weeks ago, we talked about the episode of The Simpsons where they put Bart on Ritalin.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I guess that was a
I
topical
mean, tale as old as
issue.
time. Bart Simpsons did it first. Like we've
Yeah,
been saying
Simpsons
that
did it.
mhm.
for years.
Simpsons did it. So Bobby gets in trouble and he gets sent out of the classroom.
To the nurse.
Mhm.
Assuming to the nurse's office. We cut immediately to the nurse who has the best access to pamphlets.
That
Yes.
that was a top tier joke for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, why don't people know about this? Well, they don't have access to the pamphlets that I do.
And she
Yeah.
did have a lot of
Really
pamphlets.
got me.
That is a guest star for the episode.
Oh,
Yes, that is Beth Grant. At the time of this episode, she wouldn't have been as huge, but she's a big deal, Beth Grant. She's in Rain Man. She's a leading actress in No Country for Old Men.
Oh,
Ooh.
shit.
She's in The
Oh my
Artist.
God.
So she stars in 3
Bruh.
Academy Award Best Pictures.
Jesus Christ.
That's nuts.
She's also
Yeah.
in Donnie Darko. She's Rango. She plays the voice of the female lizard in Rango.
What?
She's
So-
Johnny Depp.
Beth, she's
Her greatest
also-
role of all time.
She's also the nurse at Tom Landry
Yeah.
Middle School.
That's
so yeah.
incredible. That's so funny.
That has
Beth
happened a
Grant.
few times. We had an episode a couple episodes ago where Jennifer Coolidge was just randomly there and did like one line.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
There's a
Yeah.
couple other guests in this one, yeah. So Beth Grant is in this. Yeah, she's a pretty big deal today and still is. So I thought
shout
that was
out
cool
Beth.
Good
Wow.
job, Beth.
to just
Good
hear her doing a
career.
bit part. Yeah.
Wow. So Beth, our girl, immediately diagnoses Bobby with ADHD
Mhm.
and recommends medicating him or sending him to a special school,
Yes.
which
Hank,
Hank obviously is not
He'll
open
have
to.
to wear a uniform.
Hank,
Can he button his own shirt?
Can he button his own shirt? Hank says, his mind does wander when I lecture him. A mental disorder would explain that.
Did you guys have any friends that got like put on Ritalin growing
Oh, yeah.
up?
Yeah.
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 I definitely think that I should have been. But-
Yeah. And then there's some interesting parallel later when we get to Luann about,
my God.
it's in current day and age, Adderall. I did go to college in the
Yes.
Adderall days and the Adderall
Yeah.
years. So some interesting modern parallels. But yeah,
Yeah.
we had Ritalin kids at our
Were
school.
you
for sure.
crushing them, snorting them, popping them?
Bobby, you don't pop them, Bobby. You
Don't pop
swallow
'em.
the damn pill.
So we
Um,
cut immediately over to Hank and Peggy in the bedroom lamenting. Peggy feeling guilty, thinking that it's her fault because she's not there for
Mhm.
Bobby. She's thinking of quitting her hotshot career as a
No,
substitute teacher.
I know that. I love that.
That is a big personality point for Peggy that she you saw like her substitute
Proud.
teacher
Yeah.
of the year award. She
I
taught
taught
an honor student at Arland Middle School. Yeah,
Yes.
that's really her life's work.
Hank really burns her. He's like, well, it's called attention deficit disorder. Maybe he is having a deficit of attention. Like,
Yeah.
maybe he's not
Hank-
getting
yeah.
enough attention.
Hank very obviously and not subtly just wants her to quit her career and be a stay-at-home mother like his mom.
Mhm.
This episode really just is like a warning against the downfalls of feminism, right?
For sure. And like
Yeah.
I really want everyone, like, that's loud and clear. I want you to
Yes.
repeat it, and then we'll
Got
clip
it.
it, and then we'll
Yes.
post it.
You're brave
Yeah.
for saying that. Because we
Well,
will clip it.
Welcome to our TikTok, Reilly.
So Hank, I love that he calls the drugs Goofenthal again.
I'll say we get a repeat
The
of the
third time that he
Goofenthal
calls,
joke. Yep.
yeah, he calls it Goofenthal. He's comforting Peggy and she basically says that she's been crazy, and Hank is like, crazy's a strong word. Bobby's crazy.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, he said crazy is a strong word. You're just thinking out loud. Bobby's crazy.
Yeah.
Bobby's crazy.
We cut over to Bobby's room. Hank is doing an excellent job of explaining what ADHD is and why he's going to be on Ritalin. And this is where we get the, like, do I smoke it,
Do I
snort
smoke
it?
Snort it.
Yeah.
Crush it.
That might have been my favorite
Pop
line
it.
from Bobby in
Yes.
the whole thing. Like, how
You
does he
don't
know about
pop
that?
the pills.
Yes.
No, Bobby.
He's so worldly. Like Hank and Peggy are so naive sometimes. And Bob like immediately knew he was like, okay, I'm gonna take some drugs. How do I do it?
Yeah. What's the
I know
best
that we've
method?
told you that drugs are bad, but
Yeah.
we're going to
It
be
was-
putting you on drugs.
There was junkie business a couple episodes ago where Hank didn't know what was up with that one employee. And
Yeah, he
Bobby was
hired a
like,
drug
He's a
addict.
drug addict. Yeah, Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby
Bobby
spotted
knew?
him. Yeah, Bobby
Yeah.
spotted him from a mile away.
Bobby's seen a lot of PSAs and after school specials,
Of course.
as we all
You-
did in the
You can
90s.
spot from a mile.
There's
away.
also an
Yeah.
episode this season about crack. So it's very
Yes.
late 90s. Yeah.
very, I was going to say very late 90s.
Yeah. Crack and fishing.
Yep, fishing with crack as bait. So
Who among
Peggy,
us?
yeah, we've all done it. Peggy pretty much immediately just quits her career, and then we just cut to her making a full assortment of a
Susie
breakfast.
Homemaker.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's baking muffins. She's got different options of bacon and eggs depending on your
Based
mood.
on your mood.
Yes.
And it's time for Bobby to take his first pill, and he does a hilarious magic trick.
Round and round and round and go. That
He
really
pulls it out from Hank's ear. Hank is
Yeah.
just so pissed.
He's in such a turn. Just pop the damn pill, Bobby.
Luann is talking to him all slow. And then she's like, "Hi, Bobby."
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know
You
who
know
I
who I
am?
am?
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of Luann in this episode, which
We got
I'm a little bummed
tidbit.
about that you
Yeah.
didn't get very much Luann, Riley, because she is our favorite character.
The jumping ahead, a moment that I really did like is she's like, I think I need one of your magic pills. Like I was studying, and I couldn't do it anymore. I was so bored.
Yeah. Voice acted by Brittany Murphy, if you didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Legend, R.I.P. We cut over to Bobby on the bus, and Joseph.
And it's starting to hit.
Joseph asks if he's starting to feel it yet, and he definitely
think
is.
so.
I love you can just like hear the bug moving. It's
Yeah,
I love
Bobby's
all
in
of the
zone.
scenes of Bobby on the Ritalin killed me.
Just
Oh my
eyes
God.
super wide, and he's like, seancing. He's sensing the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Bobby on Ritalin.
Yeah, Peggy's immediately already bored. She's
Mhm.
having tea with some other stay-at-home moms.
Random
they're
moms.
talking about we've never seen these women
Random
before.
moms. Copy
Yes.
that. Didn't know the lore behind the mom situation.
Yeah, these are random moms.
We haven't
These are
seen those moms
randos.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
These are the
talking
other
about
housewives.
how they all keep busy because they're all bored and they all have nothing to do.
Flipping coupons.
Flipping
Yes.
coupons. It takes up a lot of time,
Yeah.
apparently. They
I'd
didn't
go
have
crazy
TikTok.
if it weren't for the
back then.
coupons.
And then the weird shot of them all like close up on their mouths as they're all
Yeah.
laughing, like felt
And
a bit
so
like a horror
that
movie.
it really like that hit hard. That plus the animation style. I was like,
Yeah.
"Whew, okay.
Yeah.
We do occasionally get some very disturbing scenes in this show. animation-wise.
It's like the kind of rogue moments in SpongeBob where they'll have like pretty like gnarly animation or like hyper realistic like things like that. But
Love that.
it's that for like 23 minutes, except sometimes more heightened than
just
others.
all
But
that, yeah.
it's all that.
We get a really funny scene of Bobby too counting the ridges on the checkers.
Yeah.
Everyone has 94 except this one. So he's counted all of them on
Yeah.
every single checkers piece. So they're not even playing. They're just sitting there watching Bobby count ridges,
Yes.
which sounds fun.
Bobby is a computer right now.
Bobby is so funny. I loved Bobby.
Hank
He's pretty
comes
great.
in. He's super stoked that they're having a family game night. He's
He
just
loves
excited
this
that they're
domestic traditional shit.
He's got a trad wife now.
He's got a trad wife. I love that. He's like, I'm gonna go get the guitar. We'll do a sing along like we did that one time.
Yes. I noted that too, just the one time.
Yeah.
And Peggy is like, "You're leaving the house?" And Hank's like, "You can stay, you can relax." She's like already in the car.
Yeah.
I love the thought that just to play his guitar, he's like, well, I got to restring it.
Yeah.
It's Betsy after all,
It is.
you know? So they go to Earl's. Peggy is already in the car because she just needs to leave the house. I
Leave
kind of
the
feel
house.
that way. I'm a work from home girly. I'm a trad wife in a way.
Yeah.
I stay at home with the kids all day. And there are days where Marette comes home and she's like, I need to like go we're out of soap. And I'm like, let's go.
I'm already at the store. I'm there
So
10
time.
minutes
I'll
ago.
be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I related with Peggy on that one. But we go to Earl's. Peggy finds an ad for guitar lessons. And that's really where we get the driver of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Hank is bragging to Earl about his new found trad wife
Yes.
situation. It's great. We're all loving it. Peggy's
Yeah.
very obviously not loving it. She is
Mhm.
wearing a little callback to Peggy. Another big personality trait for her is that she loves Boggle. And we've had
She's
an
a
entire
Boggle
episode.
state champ.
Yes, we had an entire episode where Peggy went to the state championships of Boggle, and she was wearing her coat that the Boggle Booster Club made for her. In this
I did.
Really sweet.
I did make a note about her jacket. I was like,
Yeah.
the Boggle, this is, we see a couple of nice props in this episode again. The Boggle jacket, Betsy.
Yeah,
We saw
Betsy has
Betsy-
lore as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Some nice prop returns here.
Mm.
Property animation notes. That's what you come here for, nephews. So we cut to Peggy getting her guitar lesson. She immediately goes, I'm assuming next day, to this apartment complex. She meets Emily, I believe
Love
is her name.
Emily.
She's cool. She has a
Love
tattoo.
Emily. Yeah.
She's got a
She's a cool chick.
tattoo, guys. I loved there were a lot of notes in her apartment, just like all of the
Yes.
stereotypical, like,
Yes.
I'm progressive.
Yeah.
Did you look at the guest star for this?
No, who played Emily?
I thought you were driving the mower this week, dog.
I
You gotta
don't
look
do
for
that,
these guest
man.
stars, dude. It's
I got
on
other
IMDb.
shit to do, man.
I did
on
everything
IMDb.
right and they indicted me.
All right. Get out of here.
So guest star here playing Emily is rock and roll folk music royalty Annie DeFranco.
Ah.
Yes, this is Annie DeFranco.
That's fantastic.
She is.
Are you familiar?
I know. I know of Annie DeFranco. That's
Oh, I
just such
don't.
a-
I've never
okay,
heard
of
her.
yeah.
She's a really powerful singer, songwriter, folk, Americana roots, kind of rock. She's very
Oh,
outspoken, progressive.
Yeah.
So in the late 90s, Annie DeFranco would have been someone who, you know, this image that we're seeing of this character on screen is kind of,
Yes.
she's kind of the perfect person to play it. But
yes. I do
she's
see
still
that
making a
she
lot of
had a
music today.
shaved head in the 90s, so
um
that
yeah
she's a rad femme
yeah
playing a rad
She's a
femme.
trad femme.
No, Peggy's a trad femme.
Peggy is a trad femme, and Peggy hesitates to use the word feminist for herself, though she is. So yeah, that's Annie DeFranco playing playing
Wow.
the feminist guitar teacher.
See, that's why I don't look it up. I like to be surprised when you tell me. Like when Chris
Mhm.
Rock was on the show, and I was like, "What? That was Chris Rock?" I couldn't tell.
I love
know?
that you couldn't tell his voice.
No, I could.
Yeah.
I could 100% tell.
Yeah.
So yeah, Peggy loves or doesn't love that she has a tattoo. Couldn't really tell.
Mhm.
Peggy wouldn't tell.
Oh
That's
wait,
right.
also there was a moment that really got me of like, you know, talking about music, obviously, and she's like, sometimes you just need to like have a good scream. She's like, well, I don't know, my husband wouldn't like me screaming around the house.
Mhm.
He's like, let me
Yes.
try it out.
And then she screams again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then we cut to commercial. We come back.
She just
Well,
needed to scream.
Yeah. Get it out, Peg. Get it out. We come back to another excellent joke of Bobby smelling that the fridge is about to go bad, or the milk is about to go bad in the fridge.
I loved that.
And there-
And there it
And
goes.
there it goes.
Hank is bragging to all of the boys. We don't get much from, we call them the alley boys. These are all of Hank's neighbors / friends. But he is bragging to all the boys about how much baking Peggy is doing. Bill is quite
be a,
jealous.
there won't be a windowsill without a pie in it.
Yep.
Yeah, which you love to see. I'll be floating towards that pie, baby.
This is where Luann wishes for a miracle smart pill.
Yes.
At the
Oh my
at the
god,
table
great
here.
line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dale also goes on a little bit of a tirade against feminism, which I thought was very funny. And we did have a little bit of
Deleted!
a deleted scene here. So I watch all of these episodes on the DVD, and then I watch the deleted scenes and report back to Chris. There was only one of note in this episode, and it was kind of an alternate line from Dale. Where while he's going on his feminist tirade, he says, "Did you know that the average working woman makes twice what a man makes nowadays?" And Hank says, "Dale, that's not true." And he says, "It is in my household because his wife is much more successful than him."
It is in my household.
That's so good. They should have left that one.
That's
in for
really
sure.
good.
It was quite good. But yeah, Emily shows up to give Peggy
Mhm.
some lessons in the alley. They all notice that she's dressed a little funny. She's
Bill
looking a
says,
little pro-choice.
Bill says that she's dressed pro-choice.
That was that's the laugh out loud line for me. She's dressed really pro. Looking for the Hill House, the Hank Hill House, the Peggy
The
Hill
Peggy Hill
House.
So she's talking to Peggy about how she should start writing her own music. Peggy says she's open to it, just no lyrics about cop killing.
Yeah.
Which I thought
Or
was
cursing.
funny.
Or cursing. She goes,
yeah.
that's just how I was raised.
Yeah, she draws the line at those two things. No killing cops. And she already has an idea for a song about turtles that has come
So
to
cute.
her. And it's very on the nose. Immediately
It's very on the
nose.
shell.
It's very on the shell. And I love that she prefaces it with like, I don't know, is this anything? And then
And
there's
then
like
she starts
two
singing.
like absolutely devastating lines about like her inner life, and Emily's just like, that's very much something, Peggy.
The funniest thing about this is I genuinely think that Peggy doesn't realize what the song is about.
Yes,
I think
I
that,
don't think she does.
I don't think
think
she does.
I think Peggy just thinks it's about a turtle,
Yeah.
which is so funny.
Peggy is a feminist, but she doesn't know it and will never claim it. There's another episode this season where, or it might even be in Shins of the Father, where she's like, Hank accuses her of being a feminist, and she's
Yeah.
like, I am
She's
not
like,
a
"No, I'm
feminist. I am," and then she goes on to describe like everything that like feminism would have been, and then dies. It was crazy. Yeah. So I love Peggy.
Love that.
Yeah. But so Emily says that it has legs. It's really good. I love that Peggy is like, I had a feeling it was very, very good.
Yeah.
Tread
And
by
then
Peggy confidence.
Yeah, she's way too confident for her own good. And we love that for her.
Love that. Be
Yeah.
confident. You grow you
Girl.
grow up, people telling you can do anything. And then you grow up and you're
Be-
like, "Oh, I'm amazing." It's like,
Yeah.
sit
I'm-
the fuck down.
Substitute teacher of the fucking year.
I
Mhm.
taught an honors student.
Yeah, bish. I love when Emily is leaving the house and Peggy is like, okay, every girl band deserves funding. Did you guys catch
Yes,
this joke?
I did.
That is not the order of
Yes.
the strings. That is only 5 strings. It's supposed to be a mnemonic device, like every bad or EADGBE is what it
Yeah.
is, right? That is not
Oh.
how that goes. And it's
I
only
didn't-
5 letters. So there's 6 strings on a guitar. It's wrong.
I didn't realize that was a guitar string.
I also
mnemonic.
didn't
Yeah.
catch that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was Peggy catching, like,
Yeah.
getting pilled.
The one that I learned growing up was every bad girl deserves an egg.
And you're always
That's a
saying
and
that.
That's a Danny DeVito quote, I believe.
Yeah, it's Frank Reynolds. But yeah, incorrect
Bad girl
mnemonic
deserves an
device,
egg.
not enough strings. So apparently she's not that
Perfect.
good of a guitar teacher. But Peggy invites her over for
Interesting.
dinner,
Mhm.
and
Because
Hank
she
is
has
not
a
excited.
tattoo. It's one of my favorite lines. She's like, she has
She
a
has-
tattoo. She looks like she needs a home cooked
She
meal.
deserves
Yeah.
a home
She
cooked
deserved
meal.
a home cooked meal.
They're like, Hank says, well, your guitar teacher seems pretty interesting, and by that I mean weird. And Peggy's like, well, she is
Yeah.
weird, and by that I mean interesting.
Yeah, I love that.
Clap back.
Yeah, so she comes over for dinner. She's so chill too. She's so cool. I love
So
Emily.
chill.
Yeah, I wonder if we get her back. She's sick.
I
don't
love
think
everything.
so.
She just goes, like, Hank will say anything. She goes, interesting.
Interesting.
Yes, I really loved her, and then whenever I looked at who it was, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. And like, I'm
Yeah.
not really familiar with her musical. I went
I'm
back
not
and listened
either.
to some, but just like understanding like what the impact would have been at
Yeah.
the time
Yeah.
of the show's airing, I'm like, oh, this is one of those moments where this is kind of lost to current King of the Hill
Mhm.
viewers. Like, unless you went to go look at like, who is this? Like, if you
Unless
weren't
you
around.
watch this show, baby.
Mhm.
Hey,
of course,
you
nephews.
know.
plug.
Like
We're
and
here for
subscribe for more.
Yeah, I also loved at the scene that Bobby was just fully withdrawing. He's like, when is my next pill?
Oh my
Mhm.
God.
He's so
I
tired.
love
Asleep at the
Bobby's-
table.
Paying attention is exhausting.
Yeah, he falls asleep with his
Yeah.
eyes open.
Eyes open.
So good.
Excellent.
Yes, I love that. Hank, I can't remember what Emily is saying, but Hank is like, "You're not married, are you, Emily?"
Yeah.
Well, she brings up that Peggy should come to the
Mother's
Mother's
Day,
Day
yeah.
recital
yes, the ironic Mother's
that
Day
they're
recital.
doing. Yeah, and Peggy's like, why would you do that? And she says that Mother's Day is like a Hallmark holiday that was invented to sell greeting cards, which is true objectively. And Hank, that's where Hank is like, you're not married,
You're
are
not
you?
married, are you, Emily?
You're not a trad wife
Fucking
like my
shit.
wife, are you? But yeah, I
They're-
loved that interesting.
They're
And, like
definitely-
the squinted eyes. Interesting.
They're definitely pitching that, late '90s traditional conservative versus late '90s independent radical
Yeah.
new age.
Yeah.
heroes,
It just makes it so much funnier that Peggy doesn't realize that that's what is happening.
It's brilliant.
and now
it's
there's also
brilliant.
like trad wife TikTok culture. Type
Are you
stuff.
guys
It's
on
weird.
Trad Wife TikTok?
Oh,
I will be
on
now.
Trad wife TikTok.
No, I'm not.
No.
I've never
It's-
heard of it.
I mean, to watch a woman make bubblegum from scratch in her kitchen is
Wow.
a pleasure that I'm very honored to have. in my life.
Yeah.
Interesting modern parallels in this episode with some of this
The
dichotomy
Ritalin
and then the
stuff.
whole pill
Yeah,
stuff.
the ADHD is a huge thing. It
It's a
feels
great
like
app.
ADHD conversation has really picked up since the pandemic. Everyone thinks they have ADHD.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
And
so
a lot of
interesting.
people have been
I've noticed that
diagnosed.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Hank says they already have plans for brunch. So we have a little bit of a conflict here. Peggy very obviously wants to perform her new song.
Mhm.
Hank
And it's
does
her
not.
day.
Yeah. She doesn't have to lift a finger on this day. All the other days, that's her
Yeah.
job. But on this day, she gets the day off.
I do want to call out from that dinner scene that Emily calls out Hank for not letting Peggy use Betsy at the dinner table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She has like
got
a
cheap
plywood guitar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Betsy is what, like a 1968 Guild solid top.
Guild Heart, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Nice
that's
guitar.
a nice guitar, guys.
But she's like, I would never dream of touching Betsy.
Yeah. I don't let my wife touch my guitar.
Mhm.
I say get out of my room. Everything
Get
in
out of
here
my
is off
room.
limits.
Everything here is mine.
Don't
Yeah,
touch
this
my
is all
stuff,
mine.
Barrett. Don't
Yeah.
touch it.
My Pokemon cards, hands off.
Don't even look at them. Don't even
Hands
look at them.
off.
Close your eyes.
All my toys? All my toys?
All my
Don't touch them.
toys. Hey, don't touch my toys.
Don't
This
touch
is
Strong
mine.
Dad.
This is my own personal private business. We cut over to the living room. Peggy's working on her song on the floor.
Mhm.
Very obviously learning to play guitar, which is very sweet and earnest for someone especially like in their
Yeah.
40s to be doing and writing
On
a
the
song.
floor is very cute.
Yeah, like in front of people, and Hank is hating it. He's being super
Mhm.
unsupportive, which is pretty common
For Hank,
for
yeah.
Hank, is just kind of being a dick
Yeah,
if
he doesn't-
things aren't going exactly the way that he
Mm.
He
wants.
doesn't get the song either.
Yeah, he
doesn't get
thinks
it. That's
that
why he's
there
annoyed.
needs to be something
Yeah.
upbeat in there. And he's
Mhm.
listened to a lot of music.
I love that.
So he would
I've
know.
listened to a lot of music. You need
Yeah.
something upbeat in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
She has
it's
to
great.
meet a guy turtle and fall in love
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah. It's
Which
so
is an
that's-
excellent songwriting note, right?
Agreed. Absolutely.
Thank
Meanwhile,
you.
Bobby is on the floor and he just says, Luann's home.
At the same time, he realizes at the same time as Ladybird.
Yeah.
So his senses are so heightened that he has the hearing of a fucking bloodhound.
Yeah.
No.
And Hank is offended. I love that he specifically says that he wanted them to take a big step backwards together.
Yep. We agreed
And
to
now
take a
she-
big step backwards together.
I missed that. That's
Yeah,
so funny.
and now she has to be going and doing this Mother's Day thing.
She
Yeah.
says, she said, I had a dream last night that I had 20 children.
Yeah.
And Hank is like, I told you
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't give you any more children because of my narrow
I have a
urethra.
narrow
Yes.
urethra.
And that is
That's-
also a through line. That
that's a
comes
running
up
line.
quite a bit.
Oh, that's
yeah.
fantastic. I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Hank's narrow urethra comes up quite a bit, actually. So then we cut to Mother's Day. Hank is talking to his mom on the phone. Loved this scene.
Loved
Yes.
this scene.
And I did see this in the post credits. Hank's mom is played by Tammy Wynette, famous
Tammy Wynette,
country
yes.
music artist.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yep.
Stand by
She,
Your Man, right?
Oh,
Yes.
whoa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I loved this scene. I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it.
He said Hank says he wished he could shake your hand in person.
Yeah. Which we did get an episode that was about Hank's mom and her new boyfriend, who we
More-
also get to see,
In
played
this-
by Carl Eisner.
Mhm.
Amazing.
We had an episode earlier this season where she gets off the plane and comes up and tries to hug Hank, and he stops her and shakes her hand.
I
We're in
wish I could
public.
shake your hand in person. Doesn't he also say something? He's like, you stayed at home and raised me, and you loved every second of it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then he
she's like,
finds
"Well-"
out that he was remembering it completely
Yeah.
wrong.
She's like, no, I took odd jobs all the I had to take odd jobs all the time. She was like, don't you
Yeah.
remember I was a
The
taxi
year I
driver for a
drove
year?
a
Yeah.
taxi.
He was like, well, you used to have a yellow car.
I'd watch that spin-off.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh.
Mrs. Hill as the taxi
As
driver.
a taxi driver.
Mhm. But yeah, she's like, Hank,
Green
I
light
gotta,
that shit.
she's like, Hank, I gotta go. Gary's here with my Mother's Day present. Love you,
Yes.
bye.
And
to
Gary's Mother's
Gary's
Day present.
Naked, dude.
Everybody.
Can't return it.
Well, you can return it, and then it'll go back in, and then
So good.
Oh my
Those
God,
are-
it's so juicy.
No.
Gary's naked, guys. We saw naked
Yes.
Gary. I loved it. They had
loved it.
sex.
I love the
Stop.
pan over the
That's their
screen wipe.
business.
Well, we saw it in the other episode.
Mhm.
I
We saw-
didn't.
Go back.
We gotta
I
go
thought,
back and watch. We
yeah,
need the views.
you didn't watch. You didn't watch every episode.
Shit.
So that scene was excellent. She gets her Mother's Day present, which is some sensual lovemaking from Gary. We get a Gary cameo.
On the
We
table
cut back.
again, probably.
Yeah. Oh
Was it
yeah.
on the
It
table?
was on the table. Yeah. And Hank
Mhm.
walked in. It made him go
Yeah.
blind.
He saw
Yeah.
it all. It did.
Yeah. And
That's
they did
very
show
funny.
they did show like liver spots and veiny skin.
Yep.
To talk about disturbing animation.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can only
a rough one.
imagine.
Highly
I can
recommend,
only
yeah.
imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah. We
The-
cut over to Bobby giving Luann one of his pills because
Yep.
I guess she
I
caught
love
his
this
ADD.
Oh yeah,
It-
I sneezed on your face. I don't remember that. You were
You were
asleep.
asleep.
So weird. But he is a
I loved
12-year-old
that.
boy, so yeah.
I loved that whole scene because it did remind me of like around the finals time in college. People would always be like, "Do you have
yeah.
do you have Adderall? Do you have
Yeah.
Adderall?
Yeah.
Do you have Adderall?"
I thought you were gonna say that it reminded you of the
finals?
time that you sneezed in my friend Dylan's face.
Actually,
Chris,
that did come up
because
into
that-
my head, and I was like, "Is Brad gonna bring that shit up?" And
Yeah.
here he is.
We were
What was
we
the
were
context?
we were on a ski trip.
We were asleep in a garage together,
Yeah.
which
We were
is
on a ski
actually
trip.
true.
Oh
And
my god.
Yeah, we were planning on all sleeping in my van, and it was like negative 20 degrees, so it was too cold. And
We
I
slept
was
in Todd's
stubborn,
garage.
so
Shout out
I
to Todd.
slept in the van, and Chris and Dylan slept like head to toe
Mm-hmm.
on the floor of a garage. And then in the morning, Chris woke up. They both woke up kind of at the same time.
So we're sitting up.
Yeah, they sit up, and Chris just immediately sneezes. They had just met each other, and
Like the
Chris
day
immediately
before.
sneezed directly into Dylan's face.
Sorry, Dylan.
If you're watching, he is
What
a
a
Trump
first
supporter now.
impression.
So yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, it's because of the sneeze.
yeah,
Yeah.
You gave him your ADD.
Yeah.
my undiagnosed ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
we
Luann,
also
Luann needs that pill.
yeah, and she gets it.
Mhm.
She does.
we
Actually,
also get
she
to
like
meet.
takes it. She like steals it
Yeah,
out of his
she doesn't
hand.
even really
Yeah.
ask for it. We'll come back to that later. We get to meet Boomhauer's mom. We don't
Very
get a lot of
funny.
Boomhauer in this episode, but he's the guy who talks all funny.
Mhm.
And we get to learn that his mom talks in the same hilarious Texas rambling way that he
Yeah.
does. I loved that
Wonderful.
scene.
Yeah, me
Hank
too.
can always understand everything he's saying, and he understood what the mom was saying as well. I thought it
I
was
also
very
love that
sweet.
Boomhauer just like peeled out of the alley super fast with his like ancient mom in the front
Yeah.
seat of his sports car. Just slams
Yeah.
it.
He's cool. He gets women. He drives fast.
He gets his mom.
Yeah.
His car.
Duh. Peggy leaves for the talent show, and Hank is kind of it's coming to the time of the episode where Hank is realizing that he's an unsupportive dick.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking through the house. He's looking into her office, which is just like kind of in the like a
The
side
hot water
closet,
closet.
the hot water heater closet. He looks at her all of her proud achievements.
Mhm.
And he comes to the realization, much like he does in a lot of episodes, that he's being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
So we cut to
He
the
needs to
recital.
learn the
Yeah.
lesson of the app.
Yeah.
I had a question mark on here. I looked at the photo of Peggy in the Alamo with those kids. The kid
Uh-huh.
right next to her looks like a young Boomhauer. And I don't know if I just like looked too in depth in it. And I was like, does Boomhauer have some illegitimate children out there?
Oh yeah, probably.
But I just like,
Yeah,
was that
Boomhauer's
Baby
kind of a
Boomer?
womanizer. Yeah,
No.
that
Mm.
he very well could have some
Mhm.
kids out there.
So I was
I
like,
didn't catch
"Boom."
that. I'll
No.
put a screenshot up. You guys be the judge.
Maybe.
That's
Let
crazy
us
because
know.
I caught it, and
did?
this is the
Shit.
first episode I've ever seen, and I'm like, that
Wow.
looks a lot like this
Wow.
character who I've seen very little of.
It looks like the guy with the
That looks like-
mom. Wow, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on screen like 7 seconds before this. So
Don't. Hey, man.
I looked
Sorry.
at it, I'm like, whoa,
Chris.
and I dove into the lore, and I just didn't want to say
Look,
anything.
She dove into the lore, man.
no, I'm Riley. You're spot on. You caught it, Brad. It's you.
I didn't catch shit.
It's it. You, Dear Brad.
listeners, I didn't catch anything.
No, she caught it. She caught it, everybody. She did.
She caught it. Brad missed it.
We cut over to the recital. Emily is encouraging Peggy to get up and sing from her heart, and then Bobby
Mhm.
shows up with Betsy. Very sweet.
Mhm.
We get a nice little scene of kind of Hank standing in the background. He gives like a little timid wave. He's there to support her. It's
Mhm.
very nice.
It was
He's given in on the trad wife lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah.
Peggy gets up on stage.
She's going to dedicate this song to her husband, Hank.
Yes, and she is introduced by Emily as essentially like Peggy's going to come up and sing a song about how a woman feels when the world tells her who she has to be, and Peggy's like, "What? No!" And all
My
the
song's
women in
about
the
a
audience are
turtle.
like, "Yeah, fuck that guy."
No, my song's about a turtle.
Yeah, she fully doesn't realize what the song is about.
Even
Crowd
Bella's,
is
I don't think this song's about a turtle.
yeah, and the song is so impossibly on the nose that like, how do you not?
It's so funny.
How
It's
is
so
that not
funny.
the point? Kind of a banger too.
She goes into her shell, which is her home and also a prison.
Yeah.
Yep. My home is a prison. I hate my life. The crowd is loving it.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
And Hank is growing more and more
Hank is embarrassed. Peggy is starting to realize what her song that she wrote is actually about. And then she improvs the end of it and does exactly what Hank suggested. Where the turtle just meets a boy turtle.
Yes.
Named Hank. So even
Mm-hmm.
more on the nose. And Hank tears up, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hank cries.
Before her heart sank, she was saved by the love of a turtle named
A turtle named Hank. It's beautiful. And we love it.
Does Hank cry in this? Is this like a rare moment for Hank to tear up?
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Yeah. I don't believe we've ever seen it. I don't know if we will ever see it again.
Wow.
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 And you were here to witness
notes.
it.
Wow.
You were here to witness it, right?
I feel really honored.
Wow.
Wow.
I guess it's just kind of special like that. I don't know.
It's really cool.
The crowd is disappointed in that ending, though.
I was too.
I was too.
She fucked it up.
I was too.
The song was good.
The
And
crowd
then
was
she
like,
made
"Man,
it.
she really phoned it in at the end there.
Yeah. So Peggy decides to stick to her traditional values. But it is kind of nice on the ride home. Hank tells her that maybe she's just too much mother to be mothering one kid. She needs more kids in her life, and she should go back to school. And we should also keep Bobby on the medicine because he's been so well behaved today.
Yes. And Bobby owns up and says he didn't take his medication today. He said, Luann needed it really bad.
Yeah.
And then we get
we
the
get
resolution
maybe the
on
best
that.
scene.
Oh my God. Edward Scissorhands level of lawn art.
Topiarying the hedges in the front.
Yeah.
They pull up and she's like, "Hi guys, you're back. I cooked brunch and I did the laundry and I ate the brunch.
I tuned your car and I made you brunch and I cleaned the mower and I ate the brunch."
And she's just like
buzzing.
I loved that.
Yeah.
And Peggy's like, maybe we need to do more research on this medication.
She's got a wide stance too. I love that she's crabbed out.
Do you think she just like bailed out on her test that she had too?
Seems like it.
Yeah,
Although it's
like,
Mother's
or
Day.
she did it in 2 minutes and it was terrible.
Yeah.
I think she was trying to study, maybe because it's Mother's Day.
Well, yeah, and she's
Day.
going to beauty school,
Mhm.
so I guess cutting the hedges could have maybe kind of been studying.
Some practice.
Yeah.
Or it could have been one of those things like where you take an Adderall to study and it takes you, just 2 hours to write that paper, and then you got somebody else's dose of a medication, and you're like, "Guess I'm cleaning the entire house."
No, I have only done that once, and I had a similar effect. I ended up just reorganizing my entire house instead of actually studying and writing.
I've never taken Adderall. I'm scared of that.
Yeah.
I've also never done any of the things I just described.
I did crush it and
For any
snort
nephews listening.
But that's the end of the episode. We did it.
Fun app.
Should we
It
step
was really
right
fun.
into the alley, Christopher?
Yes.
I'm gonna buy you a drink.
All right, we're gonna scrap that this week because
I loved it. If that was what it
that's what it always is. That's what it always is.
You gotta use the fart noise. You messed up.
Oh god damn it. Now I have to find the fucking fart noise. Hold please.
I'll make it.
That's not it.
That'll work. That'll work.
All right.
When I mess it up.
Oh my
Here we go. All right. Welcome.
Thanks, Brad.
That's not a fart. That's an emergency.
Yeah. And this segment is an emergency in a way. if you
Okay.
really think about it. 'Cause
Sure.
this is the segment of the show, the alley, where we take a step out back and we give this episode a grade out of 6 Alamo beers.
Okay.
And art does deserve to be graded and ranked and given a score.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we all
and you've always said that.
and I've always said that. How are you guys feeling about this episode? This being the first episode you've ever watched with nothing else to compare it to?
Yeah. Nothing else to compare it to. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. But I think I'm gonna give it nothing else to compare it to. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Great.
So
I had
very
fun.
just in the middle.
I had fun. I think it's because I don't know if it's so hard to compare it to quite literally nothing else. I guess my own thing is like, would I watch another episode? It's like, oh, is it enough to keep me to be like, oh, I'm gonna keep watching? And I was like, I enjoyed it. If it was on and people were watching, I'd sit down for it. I'm not gonna seek it out. And that's where it's like, but I wouldn't, if people watching, I wouldn't be like, turn that shit off.
I hate this
it.
fucking show. All this feminist propaganda that they're spewing.
But I had fun.
Yeah,
I had fun.
Judge. Okay, all right. That's a just middle of the road 3. I can appreciate that.
It's solid 3.
Chris, what are you feeling for this episode?
I think I'm landing at a solid 5 here.
Okay.
I thought
He's a lush.
I'm a little lush on this one. Yeah, it had a lot of fun modern carry throughs to me. I loved all the feminist points of it. Was fun. I loved the like over medicating children portion of it.
Yeah.
Thought was
all
funny.
of the Bobby scenes were
scenes were my favorite scenes.
Yeah, I think the only thing that took it down to me is I probably could have used more Bobby at school or something like I I wanted more
that
Bob.
scene of him hopped up on all the sugar, just him, the way that he said Bobby, that's just been like stuck in my head for 2 days since I watched that. Bobby, so fucking funny.
I would say maybe my heart is actually at like a 4.5, but I'm gonna finish the other half of the beer.
Okay, just to be
polite. I'm not a quitter.
Got it. All right, man. Chill.
Easy.
Calm down. Dude.
Not want not.
I think I'm gonna keep right up with you there, Crispy. I think I'm at a 5 as well. I loved the Bobby stuff. I loved the little bit of Luann that we had. I love an episode where Hank realizes that he's being a dick. I know that we get them a lot. It's kind of a standard trope for this show of like Hank not approving of something and then at the end realizing that he's in the wrong. But the main thing for me was Peggy not realizing that her song is about what it is about objectively.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't intend for it to be about that, that's
so
what it's
funny.
about. And it was a good song. And we had some great jokes. And we all had a great time, I think.
We did.
I think we all had a wonderful time.
We all had fun.
Actually.
I think we all had a fantastic time.
There's also a lot of really
strong
femme guest stars in this. Tammy Wynette,
strong femme guest stars. You're right. You're not
Tammy
wrong.
Wynette, Annie DeFranco, 2 strong female musicians in Annie DeFranco and Tammy Wynette, and then Beth Grant, extremely accomplished.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah. I know. I'm so happy I learned that about her and her career.
Yeah, and this was the peak.
She does more. I think she's actually in a couple other King of the Hill episodes.
Oh, cool. All right. Report back, nephews. Should we just hop right into our final segment of the show and wrap this shit up?
Yes, dude.
All right.
God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, 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 dang it, Bobby, 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 dang it.
This actually goes so hard.
Right, doesn't it? This is the titular segment. We've gone titular for the end of the show. This is the Hill King segment where we crown the MVP of the episode. No forethought. Just who in this moment you think stood out the most? Who is the who stands supreme in this episode? We will throw it to you first if you're ready, Reilly.
Bobby, I don't even have to think about it. All of my like big laugh lines were Bobby. I mean, all the real stuff, even just like the jokes, all of my biggest laughs were
Yeah.
Bobby. All of my most quotable moments were
Absolutely.
Bobby. I mean, just that's some shit I would do of like the round and round and round
He
it
pulls
goes.
it from
When he'll
behind.
take it, nobody knows.
The cereal scene was
Oh my
so
God.
funny.
You
He
put
put
the cookies back in breakfast. Luann's home. Like everything.
Yeah.
He was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
So he is my king. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, I think that might put Bobby in the lead for the season, Chris.
It might, because I'm
We will
taking
check
Bobby
in.
also.
Oh, you tally.
Oh yeah, it's all on the screen.
That's
It's
so
on the screen
fun.
right now.
Every character, look down there. Do you see them?
Oh my God. I can't believe I didn't see.
Damn, there they
Ah,
are. They're
silly
all right
me.
there. God damn. Wow, there's a lot of
God damn it,
Bobbies down
Bobby.
there. Because, guys, you know what? I'm gonna do Bobby as
Whoa.
well.
Whoa.
We got a triple Bob on this.
Triple Bob.
I believe this is our second triple Bob of
Yes.
the
Wow.
season as well.
Yeah. I think it was maybe the one with my brother or the one with Nelson where we all picked Bobby.
It might have been
Yeah.
both, honestly. I think Bobby's like got a commanding lead, maybe.
Bobby's
Hank
having a
has had
season.
quite a few.
Bobby's having a
We'll find
season.
out in the recap episode who won.
Mhm. This is
Who was the
the
best character of season
This
two.
is the penultimate episode of the season, Reilly. So the finale is
Whoa.
next. And
How are you guys feeling?
Good.
good. Good.
You heard it here first. They're feeling
Really
Straight
good.
to this good.
Yeah.
No,
Feeling good.
season 2 is great. I've loved season 2 a whole
We've
lot.
had a lot of 6 out of 6s. In this
Wow.
That's been
That's
fun.
great.
like a good amount. Yeah.
having a lot of fun. It's good.
Yeah.
Season 2 is great.
And this episode was great.
Mhm.
And choosing Bobby 3 times, I think, is pretty fucking great.
That's
as well.
huge. That's
And
huge.
that
day
is
for Bob.
actually gonna do it. That's gonna bring us to the end of this episode. We appreciate you coming on, Riley.
Oh my God. Thank you guys
so
for having me.
much.
This was so much fun.
We
This
appreciate
was so much fun.
Yes, definitely.
you watching an episode of a TV show you've never seen before.
I love watching shit that I've never seen before. That's
Would you
fantastic.
watch it-
Especially
would you watch it again if we had you on again?
yeah,
hell no.
absolutely.
Oh, wow. A little
It's-
forward there, bud.
I think what I love, especially because it's such a big show. It's like such a big cultural thing that it's like I'm glad that I now have seen an episode of a show that's been like around for so long and it had such a big like cult following that I had.
Would
never
you
seen.
say that we've changed your perspective on the world and
Yes.
how it functions?
Yeah, and this is having nothing to do with King of the Hill. I
Oh.
have a lot of calls to make, and
Oh,
I have
shit.
like, I'll get it. Like I'll talk to my doctor later, but it's like there's
Okay.
stuff
Oh,
that
doctor.
I need to deal with.
All right.
Yeah,
You're trying to
don't
get
worry
a-
about it.
Trying to get a Ritalin prescription.
Yeah, I'm currently trying to figure out a new prescription for my OCD, but I'm like, what if we threw Ritalin in there?
Ooh.
That sounds fun. Little vintage. It's having a moment.
I wonder
Wow.
what that would do for my OCD.
Oh, well,
Never too
thank
late to
you
find
for
out.
coming on. Is there anything that you would like to point our nephews to?
Oh my gosh. I have an Instagram, if you can believe it.
Wow.
No, a lot of people don't, but I
Braggadocious.
do. And it is just Reilly Anspaugh,
Down there,
ReillyAnspaugh. I have a podcast on the HeadGum Network called Revue, where I do some improv comedy with fun guests.
Nice.
The
Nothing
best.
cooler than having an improv comedy podcast.
You could have a cartoon
And-
show podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all in this together, everybody.
Yeah,
And yeah, and honestly, anything else I plug is usually just on my Instagram.
Mhm.
All
It's down
right.
here in the
It's-
info,
It's
nephews.
down there. It's down there. We'll be back next week. Obviously, do all this shit. Find us on YouTube, whatever, Spotify. We're done here. Dogs are letting me know.
Send us memes.
Send us memes. What are we doing next week, Chris?
Season finale, propane boom.
Finale, propane
Propane
boom,
boom.
cliffhanger, y'all.
Big one.
Ooh.
Yeah, come back next week. Thanks again for coming on, Riley. We'll see you
Thank you
next
guys.
time. It's so hot in this room right now. I'm sweating so much. Oh, sprinkler.
Podcast.
Wolf.